we are right now in the 3D matrix. We are in the 3D world where there are 3 dimensions of space and 1 dimension of time. And we have to actually break out of this like eggshell at the moment of death. For that, our spirit needs to leave the body at faster than light speed. And that's where the DNA comes in. The DNA in our body is the tool which we can use to shoot our spirit at faster than light speed. In simple layman terms, body is like a bow and spirit is like the arrow. So you shoot the arrow from the bow, which is the body. So for that, one has to prepare one's body to be able to do that. One has to prepare one's DNA to be able to do that. And that's what Road to Social Life is. If somebody says like we don't know what is happening with my DNA, that's not true. Like one can scientifically actually measure what's happening with your DNA. So like DNA is a spiral, like a spiral like this. And if DNA turns into a like if you braid it, like the way you braid braid their hair, like they knot the hair, and the same way the DNA is like a spiral slinky, and if you keep on knotting it, and it actually becomes more and more knotted, and it actually starts turning. Even if you braid the hair too much, it starts turning, and then finally it will become a circle if you keep on knotting it more and more and more and more, and it'll become a ring. So it'll become a ring like this. So it'll become ring DNA. From helical DNA, it'll become ring DNA. And then when these DNA, that things sit on top of each other, rings, then your spirit can actually travel through this wormhole, which these rings form, to faster than speed of light. And speed of light is the limit of the 3D world. So once you're going faster than speed of light, then you are getting out of the 3D matrix. A lot of movies came out like the Holy Blood, Holy Grail, and a lot of that, and people did not understand what Holy Grail was in the first, because the whole impression was given it was a cup. So people were trying to find out this actual physical cup somewhere, and then later they found out it was not a cup exactly. So it was actually some scientific concept. So then this shape came to be found, and it is known now that this is the Holy Grail. It's based on golden mean spiral only. It is like a cup. It is actually a heart with wings as well. It's a Sufi heart with wings. It's a perfect fractal. If we do animation of this and you keep on going inside and inside, you'll always see the same thing. No matter how much you zoom in to this, you'll see the same thing. No matter how much you zoom out of this thing, you'll see the same thing. The whole Holy Blood, Holy Grail meant that Grail is in the blood. Grail is in the blood means that this design happens inside your blood. And what is inside the blood? DNA. So this shape has to happen inside one's DNA. So if one gets this shape inside one's DNA, that means one has got Grail in the blood. That's the real meaning of Holy Blood, Holy Grail. It can happen in your own blood, you know what I'm saying? And there are ways to get your blood into a Grail-like state. You need connection with nature. You need connection with the elements. You need proper respect for divine laws. These are called pure principles, which time will not change. Whenever you come to know a pure principle, for example, like is something which is applies to all of the multiverse, some pure principle, then your DNA automatically gets a tingle at that moment. You feel a little that thing in your blood rush. If you've come across a pure principle, just like scientists used to come across any principle, it was a eureka moment for them. That eureka moment, you will feel a tingle in your DNA. So whenever you stay in pure principles all the time, when you speak about pure principles, your thoughts are in pure principles, then the DNA gets into that shape. You never get outside the scope of the pure principle. That's the way. And nature, like getting in touch with nature, will be a primary step for people, most common people. Like it will be a stepping stone to getting towards that kind of like a feeling or attitude or behavior or behavior or understanding. The state of your DNA at the time of your death depends on the actions you have done in your whole life. So whether you have had any connection with nature, whether your DNA has actually braided into the ring form which I talked earlier, that is what your death depends on. Now, what is the word evil? Evil is just the opposite of live. Live, you make it opposite, evil. Alright, so what is evil is actually going against the principles of life. Life has its own principles, and if you go against those principles, then that is called bad or evil. There is no other definition of that word. So if you're going against the pure principles which govern life, then you are being evil. So, for example, the pure principle is that if somebody has got more gravity than you, if they have more soul power than you, then if you are not humble to that being, then that will harm you immediately. So that is being evil. Like Daksh was evil because he did not bow to Shiv. Now Shiv had more centering than him. Shiv had more divinity than him and everything. But he did not bow in front of Shiv. So that's where the evil began. The Daksh story in the Vedic Puran, when Daksh did not bow in front of Shiv, that was the root beginning of evil. All evil finally comes out of that, like because people or souls or spirits, they did not respect something which was higher than them. If you don't have that respect, then you cannot evolve. And if you don't evolve, then you will go down to hell, because you will go down from wherever position you are. So it's like taking a panga with something which is much more than you. And if you take a panga with something more than you, then it's your loss. It's nobody else's loss. You're going to go down, you're going to face the consequences. And that consequence is pain and torture. There's a hellish situation happening all around the world, all over, for all kinds of people. But why is it happening? It is happening as per their choices. You get into a situation depending on what choices you make. It's all, and how do you make choices? For that you need education. You need knowledge to make the correct choice. But that's not happening. So, like people call like dark evil. There's especially in this country, because this country is about fair and lovely creams and things like that. Dark is evil, like because the thing is, space is dark, vacuum is dark, and even whatever comes out of space and vacuum only. Even black hole is dark. It does not mean it's evil. That means it has power. It has the power to create. Just because something has power doesn't make it evil. It is the actual source of creation. Even light comes out of darkness only. So that doesn't make dark evil. It is actually the source. The source cannot be termed as evil.
Matter of frequency, another frequency, lotus ocean frequency, lotus ocean frequency. Is there other realms? Is there other realms? Is there other realms from another realm?
Shadow is much more important than light, because even in all the occult texts and stuff, the inside world, the world inside us is called the shadow world. The self which is inside, which is your kundalini and your chakras and your third eye, that's called the shadow self. Shadow self is actually the real self. The one which is outside is not real. People are afraid of the dark but the dark is where the actual path. When you go into the third eye, like besides the fast, like the light speed implosion, other things all dark. It's like dark like space. Even inside the third eye, everything is dark like space. It's not brightly lit like day. So you have to understand that, like in that way, the dark is more important than light. You know. So and that's why even all our festivals and everything were night festivals, the Vedic festivals, Navratris, everything, Janmashtami. Most of the festivals are nighttime festivals, not daytime festivals. Now people are celebrating them in the day. That's another matter. Because even the Akash Ganga and stuff, and the whole Milky Way, you see in the night only. Like, so anything or like of this spiritual import is more happens when the sun sets. If the sun never set, you'll never even see that things. So you'll have no mythology in relation to the stars. You will never see the inside of yourself. Because seeing the star, that thing, is like seeing the inside of yourself only. And that's how sciences like Jyotish and astrology are born, which relate the planets directly to our inner functionings. So all of these things are like you would never see that. So the sun's light is an obstruction in that way. This whole universe seems quite big, billions of light years and all these things. The stars are like even our galaxy is so big with so many stars and suns and everything, but it is not really that big a deal. The physical universe is not a big deal. It appears a whole lot to a normal mind, that this whole thing is such a big place, but it is not. The thing is, it is still a projection from the inside. Inside is much bigger than the outside at any given point of time. Kundalini has to be seen as a goddess, Devi, just like Earth has to be seen as a goddess, Bhudevi, because Kundalini is your basically passport to this other world I'm talking about. It is the main thing which can take you to this other world. So any kind of spirituality, whatever people call spirituality, has to do with Kundalini only. already said that this world is like a tree. This whole world is a tree. It's based on a tree shape. And we can actually see that tree shape inside our own body. The Kundalini and the central axis, which is the Sushumna, it's called the Sushumna Nadi, and the finally going into your the chakra, which is your 1,000-petal lotus in the head. Now, all of the mysteries and everything in any ancient knowledge systems were about this world tree. If you look at any knowledge system, it'll always talk about the Egyptian, or anywhere you go, it'll only talk about this world tree. Now, the thing is, this world tree has got to do all with your Kundalini and your rising through the center and like feeding your bird brain and enlivening this tree up. So this tree comes to life. You know that like the tree branching will not come to life unless the Kundalini reaches there. It will not come to life. It's like the power source will be missing. This world tree was given so much importance in all of these old ancient sciences and religions, was because it is the only way out of this existence, the physical existence and the existence in the astral planes. It can connect you to that pure immortal world. When it arises and stuff inside the body, it's a very physical sensation. You will come to know when it's rising. It's not nothing which is intangible. You know, it is like very much like I'm sitting right now, or you can feel something, or when you eat some like a food or something, you taste it in the mouth. You know, it's a taste, it's a proper sensation. You know, it's a tangible thing, taste. When you put something in your mouth, what the taste is a tangible thing. Same way, Kundalini is a tangible sensation in the physical body. You can feel it rising very easily, and when it goes to the chakras, you can tell where it is in the back of your spine. You can tell where the Kundalini is at any given point of time. You can tell which chakra it has reached. You can even feel whether that chakra is getting activated, because chakras are like basically rotations. So they are basically rotations. So when there's something starts rotating, you will come to know if something has started rotating within you, like at those particular points. So, and when it reaches the third eye, then from that point it is actual visual thing. It's in like a visual thing, like what we will call an animation, but it is with the eyes closed. You see that animation with the eyes closed in the center of your eye, and it's again a very physical sensation. The people who come to know about Kundalini and things like that also try to raise Kundalini in so many strange ways. People are doing different kind of yogas, which are they call yogas, which is yoga, and they're trying to do all these hut yoga and this and that, like to forcibly raise the Kundalini. Some people are like hanging themselves upside down, in order to that thing. They think through doing Shirsasana, the Kundalini will just like physically drop to their head, but it doesn't happen like that. For raising Kundalini, it's actually much more about psychology, much more. Your psychology has to be right. You can't have the psychology that, like, I know something, or I know things, and things like that, because that's not the way to approach the goddess. So like a Ganesh-like approach is required. The Ganesh attitude is actually an attitude of that thing that I don't know anything. It is not the attitude of I know something. All people who are in the world right now, they always think that they know something when they don't really know anything. Like, until you know how to live, how to die, and how to get to this mortal world, do you know what I'm saying? You don't really know anything. Unless you know these things, how come you know anything? Just not knowing some things like enough to make a living out here. That's not knowing anything. But people are always under that delusion that they know something. And that's what keeps their ego in place and everything. People always think that they know something. And this whole ego of knowing is a psychological hurdle in reaching the Kundalini. If you keep on going into the third eye, you will just get out of this world. Your soul will come out of this world and it will go into that immortal world I'm talking about, because it's the doorway to that world. Third eye is the doorway to that world. It is the wormhole connection between this world and that world. It is for breaking out of the 3D matrix. It's for breaking out of the astral spirit world matrix. It breaks out of everything.
Many don't know they are in hell, and many they just don't care. If you want to find the exit door, if you want to find the exit door, exit door, exit door. If you want to find the exit door, if you want to find the exit door, if you want to find the exit door. Be humble to the high and divine. 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 Exit door, exit door.